Black Crypto Network.
Isaiah Jackson. Isaiah, you got to help me understand all the volatility that we saw just from last night to today in Bitcoin. Is it because of El Salvador, or is something else going on?
Our content is solely for educational and informational purposes based on the personal experiences of the content creator, and in no way, shape, or form are we providing you with legal or professional financial advice, investing advice, or business advice. We are not liable for any financial, social, or moral losses incurred as a result of the application of information or instructions provided in our content. Additionally, we do not own or purport to own any third-party resources, content, copyrighted material, or trademark material used in the making of our content.
Well, if I had a Bitcoin for every time somebody brought up volatility in the middle of great news, I would have more than Satoshi at this point. Volatility means nothing to an asset that is here for long term. If you have a low time preference, if you're thinking about Bitcoin as a new money system, this means nothing. At the same time the price was going down, McDonald's has started accepting Bitcoin in El Salvador. El Salvador has purchased 550 Bitcoins total for their reserves. All of these great things happening, and we're talking about the volatility of one day. I can guarantee you, if you look back at my last times of being on here, we talked about the same thing, and the price has tripled since then. So volatility means nothing on a long enough time preference.
Well, I'm curious what your thoughts are on what's happening in El Salvador. Do you think this is a good beta test for other countries, in particular Latin American, that could adopt Bitcoin as currency?
Absolutely, and we're already seeing it. We saw today in Panama, they are actually approaching their Congress for the same thing. Paraguay, Uruguay, other countries who may have been shut out of the financial system can all join the Bitcoin network because nobody can stop them. So I think this is just the beginning of an avalanche of countries who will do the same thing. No longer can you tell a person or a country that they cannot have a financial market or a financial protocol. Bitcoin is there to solve that, and I think it started today. Happy Bitcoin Day, by the way.
Oh, happy Bitcoin. Okay, yeah. Well, you know, it's definitely, again, this is the first country ever to adopt Bitcoin. It is a historic move, and certainly there's been a lot of doubters, as you mentioned at the top of the segment, when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptos. At the same time, though, I got to ask you, the president of El Salvador was on Twitter because they had kind of a hiccup, if you will. The apps weren't working in El Salvador. And he goes onto Twitter, he starts yelling at Apple and Google and Huawei. He's like, guys, come on, get it together. I don't know if you saw that on social media, but I wanted to get your reaction.
Oh, yeah. Well, as somebody who is in tech, anytime you roll out new tech, there's always going to be issues. It's just the beginning. I'm sure they'll fix them, and I'm sure that his, outburst on Twitter was simply just his passion for what he's been working so hard for the past few months. I would tell anybody to keep away from thinking that it doesn't work or that El Salvador has all of these problems. It's the first day, people. I mean, if you remember the first day that they put out the healthcare service with Obama, the website crashed. But it's doing fine now. So with tech, you just have to give it time to scale, and I think they'll figure it out.
What do you make of the ATMs that he's installed in the country, those Bitcoin ATMs? Not that isn't a new thing for us, but it's a new thing for them.
I think if they keep the fees low, this is a plus for the El Salvadorian people, because most people who are cash-based or cannot, do not have a bank account, they can go to an ATM, they can buy Bitcoin immediately for low fees, hopefully, or no fees. I don't think that anybody who is entering into the Bitcoin market has found an easier way to buy it other than walking straight up, putting cash in, and receiving Bitcoin. And I think that El Salvador adopting this only makes it more viable for everyone there who wants to use it. You have to meet people where they are. You give them the resources and the education. I'm sure those people will appreciate it in the years to come.
What do you say to someone watching who's still a little bit leery when it comes to anything cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or Coinbase or any of these investments? And obviously the underlying technology has been a huge hit for mainstream investors. But what do you say to that doubter out there that maybe still doesn't understand exactly how this currency could be viable when it doesn't have, say, the Federal Reserve behind it, doesn't have a government behind it? Unless you're in El Salvador. I take that back. Go ahead.
In the words of Satoshi, if you don't get it at this point, I can't help you. We went from an obscure protocol that was called rat poison, that was called, collectibles, that was called a Ponzi scheme. It's for criminals, it's for shadowy coders, all the way to a nation state using it as a currency. Never in the history of your life or your parents' or your grandparents' life have they seen a new legal tender be created from scratch. So if you're still leery at this point, just stay out. Don't even buy it. Stay out and just watch us create an entire new money market without you. And then you'll have to explain to your kids why you let the biggest transfer in financial history happen and you did nothing.
Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications. Also, don't forget to check out the information and links below and follow us on social media.